Hey, welcome back to another episode of Sten Reacts. Mike Stenhouse here in the Bourbon Bar with you, reminding you two things: that your favorite whiskey tastes best in a charred oak tumbler like this one, and always to drink in moderation. All right, today I want to talk to you. I'm going to react to a video that I only briefly saw once. We're going to go through it slowly and break it up. It's a video from Javier Millei. He is the new elected president of Argentina. Don't cry for Argentina. Thank you to Argentina. But there's a lesson here for Rhode Island politicians. There's a lesson here for Rhode Island voters that I want to make very, very clear to you as I react. So let's go through this nice and slowly. Let me get things set up here. And we're gonna go through this and pause and analyze and break this down. Here is Javier Millei, the next president of Argentina, doing an interview. I'm not exactly sure when, but doing an interview, and this was posted, as you can see, in TikTok. Let's go.
No le podés dar ni un milímetro.
So you got the media right away challenge. You can look, this guy, and let me go back first. This guy, Millei, acts a little kooky. He's got a lot of antics. He's an outstanding economist. Stephen Moore, Arthur Laffer, the great American economist, who I admire. A lot of other readings I've done on this guy. This guy sounds and acts a little kooky. Sounds like Donald Trump a little maybe, but he's well-based in good conservative free market economics and politics. Let's keep going. You're going to see he's challenged here by the media, but folks, this is how it's done. Can you define leftist?
Zurdo de mierda que no
Todos los que, digamos, los colectivistas, los que ponen, digamos, o sea, esa idea. A ver,
¿Por qué le pones de mierda, digamos?
Porque son una mierda.
How refreshing is that? To have a politician just tell it like it is. These people are evil.
O sea, no, pero es que si pensás distinto te van a aniquilar. Ese es el punto. Es decir, vos al zurdo no le...
They kill you or they cancel you, right, when they have the power. You can't give these leftists an inch, he says. We cannot tolerate this anti-American, anti-religious, anti-white, anti-sex, naturally acquired masculine and feminine. We cannot give them an inch when it comes to these important issues.
Le podés dar un milímetro, porque le das un milímetro y lo toma para destrozarte. Es decir, usa, digamos, o sea, vos no podés negociar con el...
Leftards, that's a new one. I've heard the term libtards used before, but he calls them leftards. Interesting.
Zurdo, no se negocia. No se negocia con esa mierda, no se negocia porque te van a llevar puesto. Y como estamos siendo tan...
Now, here's the key part. Now, remember, this guy who looks like a raving lunatic is actually well-grounded in economics and politics, and he won. He won an election in left-leaning Argentina because he spoke the truth boldly, honestly, brashly, even rudely. People are dying for the truth. People are dying for someone who will stand up and say, I represent your values. And I'm going to call out other people who represent the evil values that are opposite of yours. People are starving for that. This guy gave it to him, and this guy won. And now he explains why he won. Because he knows that our beliefs, we live in the real world, the real world beliefs that you and I hold are far superior than the fake Never Neverland beliefs of the left, or as he calls them, the leftards. Let's continue.
Mejores que ellos, como los estamos aplastando en la batalla cultural, los estamos pasando de arriba, porque no solo le ganamos en lo productivo, somos superiores moralmente, somos superiores estéticamente, somos
I don't know if he's aesthetically superior, but anyway.
Mejores en todo, y les duele.
It triggers them. You challenge them, they get triggered, they make mistakes, they run away in shame. They must be challenged. Trigger them every chance you can with the truth.
duele. Entonces, como no pueden pelear con las herramientas legítimas, se apalancan en el aparato represivo del Estado.
And this is the key part here. The left has learned to use the state itself, our own taxpayer money, to turn it back onto ourselves. We're paying for our own destruction. You heard the previous speaker, I can't remember her name, said it takes a lot of manipulation to have an intelligent people like us turn to self-destructive, if not aiding our own extinction.
Poniendo torres de guita para hacernos mierda. Y aún así no pueden.
And yet they lose if we call them out on it. They lose. More on that in a second.
Tuvieron que bajar la nota. ¿Me entendés? Que están perdiendo. Están desesperados. Están perdiendo la batalla cultural. Los zurdos de mierda. Por primera vez se ven acorralados. Los zurdos de mierda. No le podés dar ni un milímetro.
And he's right. We're going to win this culture war. We're going to win this battle between good and evil, between truth and falsehoods, between prosperity and poverty. We're going to win it. We are winning because it is the truth and it is what you and I want. It is what almost all people want. All people want it. How refreshing is it to see a guy like this speak the truth so openly, so unashamedly, right? So clearly, brashly. I mean, it's shocking. This is shock video. When will we have a politician in this state who will speak like this? Donald Trump won. He later lost, but he won. He almost won the second time too. It's a political winner if you stand up and represent the values of the masses of the people. I think of Hispanics. I think of African Americans in this state. They are highly religious people. They don't believe in all this gender baloney. They don't believe in all this sexually explicit material and pornography being put in front of our kids. They don't believe that whites should be damned as white supremacists. They don't want their kids being taught that. They know it's divisive, but yet nobody in this state will try to appeal to not only the minorities, but the most of the Caucasian, if you would, population who feels the same way. When is somebody in this state going to stand up and speak the truth unabashedly, proudly, persistently, loudly, and clearly? There is a tremendous message here in this victory of Javier Millei in Argentina. Don't think of it as some country far, far away below the equator that has nothing to do with Rhode Island. It has everything to do with Rhode Island. We are being manipulated economically, emotionally, morally. We're being manipulated by the left. Our kids in our schools, the media in this state, the left-wing politicians in this state, Gabe Amo, who voted against the pro-Israel bill. The politicians and the media in this state are evil. They live in the never land of make-believe. And this guy, Javier Millei, who won by a landslide, as a matter of fact, who won by a landslide in Argentina, shows how it's done. We must demand the same from the next round of statewide and federal office seekers in this state. If you're a potential candidate for school committee or town council or state rep or state senator or state office or federal office, learn this lesson. It's a political winner to stand up and fight these culture wars. That's not the only issue. There's economic issues. Like I said earlier, the left's assault on the family, culturally, morally, economically, is never ending, and they must be called out on it. You will be rewarded with more votes than you could ever imagine if you're bold enough to be a little brash, to resort to antics like Millei did with the chainsaw, symbolic of him slashing and cutting government, which he pledges to do. We'll see if he gets it done or not. This is what it's going to take to win in a blue state, Rhode Island. It won in a blue country like Argentina. And I hope that you as voters and any potential future lawmakers, would-be lawmakers out there or candidates learn that lesson. Well, I've been preaching it for years and nobody has taken me up on it. Everybody who tries the old-fashioned way loses. You think it's time to try something new? I do. All right, hey, that'll end this Sten Reacts segment. I thank you for tuning in to the Bourbon Bar. Remember, you can see all of my Sten Reacts segments at the top of oceanstatecurrent.com. Go to the watch menu item and select Sten Reacts from the drop-down menu. So again, from the Bourbon Bar, Mike Stenhouse wishing you adieu. We'll see you next reaction.